My mind just did bim bim, bim bim bim. That's how I
Jesus.
went down my meal and I found out that hello everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Okay, guys, welcome back to my channel. Hmm. If this is your first time stopping by, if this is your first time clicking, thank you very much. My name is Chamaka Madrako. Welcome to the family. Thank you for joining. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel. You're gonna be helping me by doing that. And make sure to like this video if you find it interesting. Make sure to share it with your mama, your papa, your friends, and your loved ones. So, whenever you guys see this mic out, just know I'm about to throw it down. So it's what? It's a story time. It's a story time. By the title, you already know what I'm going to be sharing, or telling you guys today, or the testimony I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. Um, I'm going to be telling you a testimony of what God did. I would say 100% what God did, because the only role I played in this thing is you know, when we're kids and your parents take you to a party, you don't even know who is doing the party, you don't even know who is organizing, you don't know who paid for what. All you know is that your parents had, like, bathed you, dressed you up looking so good, and took you by your hands to a party that you don't even know how it came about. Okay, so yeah. 2018, 2019 was my service year. As you guys knew, you can go down to the trail in my video. You know that at the time I was living in Abuja. I was living in Abuja. Oh, hi. That's a bird. So I used to keep food for them on my window, and they are here to feast. I hope they find some. Anyway, I refilled it this morning. Back to what I was saying. Um, I at the time was living in Abuja, and after my service year in 2019, I finished service 2019 March. I Around August or July, I mean to say around July, a friend of mine told me about a tech company in Lagos that is hiring for interns. And as at then, I was very interested in breaking into the tech ecosystem, right? And I applied and I wrote the exams. I was successful in the exams, and they asked me to come to Lagos from Abuja for an interview. Bear in mind, they didn't mention the stages of the interview, they just asked me to come, and I was successful. So I was thinking that maybe the interview would just be one. Fast forward to booking my flights, coming down to Lagos, staying with someone I knew from my childhood. Excuse me, I went for the first interview, and just when I was about going back to Abuja, the person that told my friend about his company told me not to go back yet, because it's going to be like different stages of the interview. Okay, so he just admonished me to more like stay back in Lagos, and if in like 2 to 3 weeks time I don't get a call back, then it means I wasn't successful with the first phase of the interview. Okay, so I finished with the that particular interview, and after 2 weeks, going to three, I got another mail from them for a second interview, like the second phase of the interview. I went, and when I was about going back, the guy said this because I was already tired of Lagos. I needed to go back. As for those of you who don't know, when I was in Abuja, when I was serving, I was making footwears, I was making slippers, sandals. I'm that hustler. I'm that hustler, babe. I don't know. I'm looking at this AC. I don't know what's going on. There's light, but it's not working. Anywho, I'm that hustler, babe. I want to put in the work. I'm never one place. I'm always chasing money. Although I've not found it yet, but this year I'm gonna find it. Okay, guys. So I was really tired of Lagos, and I needed to go back to Abuja to continue with my business. Okay. After like what felt like a month and 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I got another invite from them. Another disclaimer, I think this video will be having part one and two. So I'll try as much as possible to keep it juicy to get you back to the part two of this video. Okay. I got another invite from them, and I this time around it was with the MD of the company, the owner of the company, and their office is because they're still there in Marina, but this last phase with the MD was in a hotel in VI, in the conference room. Please don't get me wrong, it's the conference room of the hotel. Okay, so after the interview, what was like about 2 weeks again, and I can never ever forget. It was 1st of October, 2019. Okay, I had a couple of friends that made it to the final phase of the interview, so we took each other's numbers. We were like keeping up to know who was gonna be employed or who was gonna receive the offer letter first, stuffs like that. So on the 1st of October, one of the guys, I made three friends, one guy and two girls. Okay. And at the end of the day, I think it was like two people that got the job with that company. The other girl got a job with Access Bank. The guy called me that morning and he asked me, "Oh, Amaka, how far have you gotten a mail yet?" My mind just did bing bing. Boom, boom, boom. I said, Jesus, have you gotten? The guy was like, tell me now, tell me now. Some people said they've gotten. I'm like, you that is telling me, have you gotten? He said, yes, he has gotten. Jeez, that was when it felt more real. That's okay, it's about to go down. I checked my mail, I didn't see anything. I told the guy, do you know what? Just send me, let me see the mail you got. And he screamunched it and sent it to me. And lo and behold, it was a proper offer letter. I broke down in tears. I cried and cried and cried and cried. But then I'd already spent 2 months in Lagos doing absolutely nothing. And so I called my mom. I told my mom what had happened. My mom was like, okay, you have to get back to Abuja and get back to your grind. I was speaking to a friend, and I was just expressing my ordeal, expressing my disappointment in myself. And the guy said, "Okay, so what are you going to do now?" I'm like, "I just want to go back to Lagos and go back to Abuja." And he was like, "Do you want to go back tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, sure. Find a flight." And I got a flight. I got an Aero contractor flight back to Abuja. Worst airline ever. I heard they've stopped operation. They better stop it because that's a nonsensical airline. So I booked an Aero contractor flight to Abuja by 5 p.m. on that day, the next day, right? And I packed my bags. My friend, in fact, I had to leave the place I was staying. I had to leave her house to go to another of my friend's house that is more like closer to the airport than where I was. Okay, so um, I went back to Abuja. I went back to Abuja 3 days after I went back to Abuja. Mind you, it was like 2 weeks after the people that got the invites that got the offer letter that I went back to Abuja. And like 1 week after I'd gone back to Abuja, I was bear in mind I was applying for other jobs while I was in Lagos. Okay. And I applied to this Glow. Someone I used to know was in Glow at the time, and she told me to apply to Glow customer care. She was also doing customer care for Glow then. I think the customer care was 120K plus like 5K allowance, data, airtime, and stuff like that. So I mean, it felt good. It felt like something I could work with, even though it was not in the industry that I was interested in at the time, or maybe not the sector I was interested in at the time. So when I got back to Abuja, my friend called me and told me to check my mail. I checked my mail and I saw that Glow had invited me for an interview in Lagos. So I called her back. I said, I'm sorry, I went back to Abuja like 2 weeks ago. She was like, why now? I told you to hold on. I told you to hold on. We are going to call you. Why did you go back? By that time, I was already panicking. I was already crying. I said, what is this? So one mind was like, just go through your mail, safe. That's how I went down my mail and I found out that that tech company had given me an offer letter. It gets more interesting here because you would think I started the work or I started the job. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. Anywho, I saw that and I was confused for a minute because does it mean that they were giving out the offer letter batch by batch? Or does it mean that what exactly was the problem? And then I called the guy, and the guy said, oh, why haven't you spoken to me since? Apparently, they give out the offer letter by department. So the guy that told me that he had gotten an offer applied for customer, I think customer success or customer service. I'm not quite sure. Okay. But me, I applied for information and technology. And the guy was like, okay, so what's the problem? And I said, I don't know. He said, okay, this is the maybe the admin or the HR. You can call them and just tell them what's going on. Like then I'd already abandoned the glow one because this is more like what I needed. I called the lady and I was telling the lady XYZ was what happened. I was depressed and I wasn't checking my mail. The lady said, oh, okay, we are sorry. Someone else has taken your position. Blah, blah, blah. Guys, did I cry? I cried. I cried it. I cried as in Ebirim pieces as in Ebirim aqua. I cried and my eyes were red. So my auntie that was living in her house in Abuja just admonished me and just said, just go with the glow. And now even the glow, I don't even think I can pursue it because why? I had left Lagos. So I called back the babe and I'm like, I actually have left Lagos and I don't see the possibilities of coming back. I spent a lot, an arm and a leg, going and coming and sustaining myself in Lagos at that time. I don't think it's something I want to do again. So is there a way? So she just said, okay, just hold on. Let me speak with the people in the HR department. I think she knew someone there. And she asked the person, and the person said, oh, okay, we're also running it concurrently because they also have an office in Abuja that does customer where the customer service people work. Okay. So she told me that she's going to speak with someone that let the person. So the person told her that they are also running the same exercise in Abuja. So let him just rephrase my mail and ask me to go to their office in Abuja. Ladies and men, to Jen. I went to their office in Abuja. Did I do the interview? Yes. Did I ace the interview? I don't know. Did I get the job? Obviously not, because till today I've not heard from Glue. You want to know what later happened? Watch out for the next video. Thank you guys for sticking with me in this very short story time part 2 of this story time is going to come directly after this one. Please, 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 please don't, you cannot even afford to miss the part 2 because the part 2 is where it gets more juicy. The part 2 is where I tell you, bring you into the nitty gritty of how God did it. Okay, yeah. So you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking with me. See you in my next video.